And then you have to comment on my videos. So every time you comment on a video, you will be entered into the drawing each and every comment. Just one comment per video, and comments in the chats on the lives don't count. You have to come back on the lives and put them in the comments on there. But the comments in the chats don't count. So that's that. We'll put them all together. We'll do a little spin the wheel of names type thing. And whoever wins, I'll send them the pins. You've got to be a resident of the United States, and you got to sign up for my email list. So, and then you got to comment on my videos. All these, so many rules. It's just so hard. YouTube has nothing to do with this. It's just my own personal little giveaway that I'm doing. So there we go with that. Oh, second thing I wanted to talk about before we get started tonight, just as a reminder for you all, is the May Steps Challenge. So did you grab yourself a habit tracker, a steps tracker for the month of May? Here's my steps tracker, and I'm coloring it in already. You can get that on my website. It's, free for you to get, and you got to get your own coloring things, but then you can color, and it'll be fun. It'll be exciting. So now that we have all of the fun things, let's talk about my guest. I thought I had a guest tonight, but I guess I don't. So it's just me again, and I feel like I'm so close to the camera, it bothers me. So it's just me. So we're going to talk. That's okay. I can do it by myself. I don't mind. I like it. I'm having fun. So we've got some guests here. We've got Kind, and we've got kickboxing and knowledge. And I want to thank you all for being here very much, Misty and Mary. Thank you. Kilograms. Yes. Knowledge. Great words. Great words. Okay, so this is like, how can I be taller? This is really bothering me today. Wait, what's going on? Oh, there we go. That's better. Okay, sorry. Those are excellent words. Kettlebell. Oh man. Ooh, that's a good one. Kettlebell. So is that the most number of letters in a word, kettlebell? Should we give out, stars for the most letter words, or the most amount of letters in a word? I don't know. Just a thought. Okay. Oh, you guys should have known that I was going to talk about this word, because I am obsessed with habits. Creating good habits, breaking bad habits, all things habits. I am obsessed with habits. I just started back in, I don't know when I really got completely obsessed with habits. But hello, Tia, welcome. We're talking about words that start with the letter K. Please put your comments, your guesses in the comments. In 2019, whenever I started the No BS weight loss program, that was whenever I first started, that's the first time I think I've ever done a habit tracker in my life. And they suggested doing a habit tracker. So I was like, I'm doing this program. I'm going to do this habit tracker. And I don't think it was until at least 2 years later that I truly got obsessed with habits, when I realized how many good habits I was creating and how many bad habits that I had. It was just really kind of insane to me, the number of, just habits, and how we cannot even really think about that too much. So, and that's the reason that tonight we're going to be talking about the word that starts with the letter K. And again, we're doing a little bit of freedom here because it's keystone habits. So, yeah, what are keystone habits? So, keystone habits are like the central principle, the underlying thing, the main factor, and they create a ripple effect into other things. So they're the key to it all. It's what all else depends on a kick-ass. Aha. Kidding. That's K word. So it has a ripple effect across, other habits. So there's, you can kind of look at it a couple different ways. So Tia, whenever she was on the show the other week, she was talking about how she likes to set out her clothes the night before. Now, that habit in itself, you could say that habit that's a keystone habit because it creates a ripple effect. If she wasn't to set out her clothes the night before, she's not going to exercise, but she sets them out, ripple effect. She gets up, she puts them on, she's more likely to exercise. So, keystone habit. Some people call it a primer habit too, or a primer whenever it's something kind of like that. Just depends on how you want to look at it. I'm still going to call it a keystone habit because I like it that way. Some people consider like just the simple act of making your bed a keystone habit because it sets you up for success. You've already done one thing awesome to start your day, making your bed. So like other awesome things are going to happen throughout the day. I don't know about that one, but some people say going to bed early sets me up for the next day. Keystone habit. If you don't go to bed early, then you're going to wake up late and you're going to hit snooze, or things are all going to be discombobulated. You're not going to get enough sleep. So yeah, definitely going to bed early sets you up for the next day. Keystone habit. Hi, Jess. Welcome. Glad you're here. We're talking about words that start with the letter K, so you can put your guesses in the comments box. So let's also, while you're guessing words that while you're putting in words that start with the letter K, what other things do you think could be keystone habits? Because I don't want to just like put them all out there just myself. I kind of want you guys to put them out there too. Keystone habits. So I'm going to talk about one. I'm going to tell, like a little, behind the scenes action on me. With the steps challenge. So I'm in Derek's Journeys May Steps Challenge. Check Derek out if you don't know him, but I know you all do. So with the steps challenge, I always have a goal. So every month for this whole entire year, my goal is to get 370,000 steps a day. So in order to get 370,000 steps a day, it's like 12,000 and some weird number, like 202 or something for that, like that. So one of my keystone habits that I do is that in order to make sure that I'm going to hit that goal, I always like to see that where I am at with achieving that goal. So some days I'm going to step a little bit more. Some days I'm going to step a little bit less. So I always I have this whole spreadsheet and I could probably show it to you guys. But it's got, date and how many steps I've taken for each entire day. And I put them in every single day. Well, I don't put them in every single day. Sometimes I like every few days I do it, just to be honest. And then it'll have, steps remaining to hit my goal. And then it'll have a column for how many steps average per day do I need in order to hit that goal. And so that's just kind of like how I make sure that I hit that target. It's one of my ways that I do that, because if I don't keep up with if I get into a huge deficit, then there's going to be like no way. So I have to make sure that I'm not getting myself into like that kind of thing. So I always like to keep track of, where I'm at. So that's like one of my keystone habits, is just to be aware, to be mindful of where I'm at with the steps challenge. Hello, Teresa. Welcome. We're talking about words that start with the letter K. So you all have exercise is a keystone habit. So I can totally relate with exercise. Whenever I exercise, especially because I'm a person who likes to do my exercise in the morning, it kind of leads to being on track with some of my other healthier things that I like to do throughout the rest of the day, because it just puts me in that good mood. It puts me in a positive mindset. It makes me feel like, yeah, I can crush this day. Like, it just kind of has that ripple effect on it. Definitely with exercise is one of those things that creates that ripple effect. And I think that 100% doing my exercise in the morning creates that ripple effect. That on the days that I don't do it, I don't get as much of a ripple effect as like when I do it in the morning. So what other habits do you think could be that cause like a ripple effect in what you do? What other types of habits? You guys are all blank. You're like, work too hard today. I have no idea. Guys ask us these hard questions. We just don't even know. I'm just waiting. Just waiting. Okay. So, meal planning. Everybody, emoji something. If you participate in meal prep or meal planning. Meal prep or meal planning. So, I believe that meal planning has a complete ripple effect. So if you don't make a plan, then you can't buy the foods. And then if you don't buy the foods, you can't prep the foods. And if you don't prep the foods, you can't eat the foods. So it could go into a big long thing. I'm not huge on meal prep. The only thing that I like to meal prep really, and I don't even call it meal prep, I hard boil some eggs and I cut up some strawberries or some other fruit for snacks during the week. But other than that, I really don't do any meal prepping. But I do start with a plan. Every week I sit down with my husband. We have this long conversation. We look at the grocery ad and see what's on sale for the week. We stock the pantry to make sure that we have all the ingredients that we're going to need to make the meals that we've assigned. And I put them, just really loosely. I don't plan out like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but I just put them. Oh, this isn't showing it very good. But I put them there, shopping list on what we're going to be eating for the week. And then it takes the decision, all of that decision fatigue. So sometimes whenever you have worked all day and every department is making you angry and mad and whatnot, the last thing you want to do is like think about what is for dinner. And it's so convenient to say, how about, we just go out to eat? Or how about I just pick something up to eat? But if you've already got your food prepped, if you've already got the food purchased, if it's not frozen and if you've got your meat and it's not frozen and it's something, that you're going to need to use, or else, it's going to go bad or something like that, you're more likely to make that decision. So meal planning, a lot of people like to do meal prepping. So like I said, I'm not a big meal prepper, but I understand why a lot of people like to do it. Again, it's one of those things that's prepped. It's ready to go. It's easy to make the decision to just go ahead and eat that food. The one thing that I love about meal prep, and I don't do meal prep, but I love when people post their pictures of their well-organized fridges on refrigerators on Instagram, or whenever they post pictures of their cute little dishes with all the foods just all perfectly put in there, and it just looks nutritious and delicious and it's colorful. And I am sure that when you do that, if you're a person that does that, in some way, I think that it's kind of like rewarding. Like it gives you a sense of accomplishment. It makes you feel good. It looks pretty. I don't know. Let me know kind of what your thoughts are on that. But that's how I kind of like to, that's what I think about it. And one of those things about that is if it does create those feelings for you, that's like the next K word, giving yourself kudos. It's like, yay, me. Look what I did. Kudos. Woohoo. Look at this. Can you imagine? And you know what? You change best by feeling good. So if it's something that you're all proud of, you're excited about, you want to share with somebody, it's going to help you to make that a habit over time. So if you've been interested in making meal prep a habit, perhaps one of the ways that you can start to create that habit is to get some pretty things to put the stuff in. And that'll just like, woohoo, you know? your your fridge doesn't look like that. Her son's got a nice looking fridge. I was posting on Facebook, then people ask for recipes. That's a lot of work. Like, that's a lot of work. I will never have a well-organized fridge while I have to share with 3 others in the house. Don't you sometimes just wish that you had like your own fridge? Because like mine, I would totally, I'm kind of there with you because my husband loves condiments. So like so much real estate of our fridge is mustards. How many mustards does a person need? We have a lot of mustards and other condiments, a lot. I meal plan on a good day/week. I meal prep, but it's not pretty. Well, good for you. Maybe other people might think it's pretty. You might not think it's pretty, but other people might think it's pretty. So kudos was my next word. And I want to jump back to the whole exercise thing. How do you give yourself kudos for doing your workouts? I know that I have a lot of people that I follow on Instagram that just like to post their morning workout. Like, look, I did it. Look at me. I know that there was a while that Misty, who's joining us tonight, that she used to post her workouts. But I feel like that's just one way to brag about yourself. But I don't think it's actually bragging. I think that it is showing pride in yourself, showing happiness, patting yourself on the back. So it's not just about, trying to garner attention or bragging. It's really just about celebrating that pride and trying to, in some way, intensify that habit to make it happen more often. Because when we're proud of ourselves, when we're happy, whenever we feel good, it's easier to make changes. So, also, I'm so sorry. I took that allergy pill. I'm all congested, and now I'm just dry. It's just going to be a whole thing. What is another keystone habit? Did anybody else guess one and I missed it? Misty makes meat in advance. Journaling. Or planning your day, or making a to-do list, or whatever. This can be a keystone habit because it can have a ripple effect. So for me, journaling has rippled into self-awareness. into mindfulness, into learning about me and habits that I have that are not so helpful that I need to break, and learning about habits that I want to create. So journaling has helped me out a lot, and it has definitely had a ripple effect. Journaling has led me to be able to, change my mind, change my perspective, help make changes to my identity, all kinds of things. Journaling has helped me in a good way. Writing down your to-do list can help you, can have a ripple effect. If you don't write down the to-do list, you're forgetting to do things. So just writing the to-do list down. Also, writing your to-do list at the end of the day has shown to have a ripple effect with people's sleep. People who write down at the end of the day, they can put it aside because they don't have to worry about it because it's on my to-do list. I don't need to think about it. But otherwise, we're like going through our brain and we're thinking, oh my God, I got to do this and I got to do that and I got to do that. And then we're trying to remember it. And now we're not falling asleep as fast. But if we just write it down, we know we've got it taken care of. Got it taken care of. Oh, wait, what did Jess say? Is that how your channel started, really? Huh. Very interesting. We learn new stuff every single day. Very cool. Kudos keep you going. Sweaty selfies on Instagram stories. Exactly. The kudos. It doesn't matter what habit it is. We should be celebrating them. If we're trying to create new habits, it's just going to make a huge difference in how fast that habit is going to be able to take hold. There's all kinds of studies about habits and how long they take. And I don't think anybody can come up with any definitive answer for sure. You hear all kinds of things. It's all going to depend on you, the habit, your situation, all of the things. All of the things. But whenever we're talking about habits, we need to give those kudos to ourselves. What ways do you give yourself kudos? In what ways do you just like fist pump? Do you, yay? Do you do a little dance? Post things on Instagram? I write down things in my journal. I love to write things in my journal where I'm really super, super, super proud of myself. That's one of the things that I've really been focusing on whenever I am faced with a difficult conversation that I don't want to have and I actually have it. I've been like making a big deal out of it because it's so important. That it's one of my big things that I want to do for 2023 is be better at that, because I noticed that whenever I don't do that, it leads to bad habits like, well, just everything: overeating, getting emotional, isolating, not focusing on anything. So if I can break that habit, if I can become a person that doesn't do that anymore, it's just going to be game changing for me. Game changing. I'm telling you. Like, there's so many things that I just can't wait till this becomes something that I don't have to worry about anymore. It's going to be so cool. So I make a really big deal out of it because that's how bad I want to be able to change this part of who I am. It's like what I really, really need, because I just noticed how big of a part of the self-sabotage that I have, where that is. That's like the number one way that I self-sabotage myself. So definitely. So that's a keystone bad habit that I have that has a ripple effect. Guess what? You can have keystone bad habits and keystone good habits. They can all that have a ripple effect. So journaling, back to the journaling, which could be a keystone habit. It helps you become aware of these things. It all is connected. It's all connected. So let's see here. Oh, mhm. Another big keystone habit that for me, because I work from home a few days a week and some days I work in the office, I learned that getting dressed for the day is a keystone habit for me. Whenever I don't get dressed for the day, if I'm working in my pajamas, if I'm working in, certain things, I am not as good of an employee. I am not as active as a person. My mood is different. And there's lots of other factors. So that's getting dressed just helps me show up as a better person. It helps me make better decisions. It helps me be more active, all of these things. But I learned, and just like the really being aware, having that self-awareness, taking a look at it and saying, okay, well, this is an important thing that I need to do. Yeah, it's really easy to just, pull up to my desk on the days that I don't have to go into the office, not comb my hair, not do anything. It's really easy to do that. But the ripple effect of that, is it worth it? And it really wasn't. I like it. I like who I am as a person more whenever I actually go through the whole let's get dressed type of thing. So that's something. We need to not forget about the bad ones. Yes. The not so good ones. I don't know why I don't like the word bad habit. So, yes, all these wonderful keystone habits. I just I'm obsessed with habits, people. I'm just so obsessed with habits. Like everything seems to be a habit. Like some people have a habit of talking negatively to themselves. Do you think that that has a ripple effect? Do you think that might affect anything that you do throughout the day? If you are on your case about, I should have, I could have, blah, blah, blah. Do you think that's going to affect how you show up in the world if you're talking negatively yourself? Well, of course it's going to have a ripple effect. So we need to be, just cognizant, aware of it. And whenever it happens, turn it around. I was thinking about this and I'm going to find a way to do this that's really good and helpful. But I know that at one point in time, my negative self-talk was probably a lot higher on the scale than my positive self-talk. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think now my positive self-talk is way higher than it used to be. But I was just thinking, like, I'm really curious how many times, throughout the course of a day, do those little slips come through that, aren't it's such a big deal, but they are. They do have a ripple effect. So I was just thinking about that, and you know the self-talk, and I would like to be able to somehow be able to just measure, just to see like one day what it actually kind of looked at. Yep, I have it twin. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So going, oh man, so many habits, just so many habits. Going watching TV too much, being on your phone too much, not going to bed on time. How many people out there are still snooze button lovers? How many people are still snooze button lovers? Is that a helpful habit? Good habit? Bad habit? I think it's neutral. Like it just depends on you. My husband cannot live without the snooze button. I don't think he would ever be willing to change his snooze button thing. I have never been a big snooze button person. Snooze is so bad for you. But at least you do have some positives. So that's progress. Progress. Kudos to you. Yay. So while we're talking about kudos, by the way, what do you want to give yourself kudos for today? What do you want to give yourself kudos for today? This was one of the big habits that I started whenever back in 2019 when I joined the No BS weight loss program was every single day. It was part of the plan. You write down 3 things that you did right that day. And it didn't matter. Like, what did you do right? So I drank a glass of water. If you were, for somebody that, if you were an all soda drinker and you never drink any water, like drinking a glass of water is a big deal. I said something nice about myself. I ate the food that I planned to eat, no matter how small that it was, something that you did right. I exercised today. There's science on it. Don't use an alarm. What's snooze? Oh, I love it. We're all so alike. We're all so alike. Oh my God. That sounds like fun. So I have a whole video coming out soon. I got to record it still because I recorded it once and then I didn't like it. Whenever I went into editing about the ab challenge and why I failed it. So that's coming soon. I hope you guys look forward to it. But it's habit based again because I'm obsessed with habits. So yeah, definitely. Okay. I'm gonna sneeze. It's not gonna be nice. Who said kindness? Was that Mary? Mary, I think you said kindness. Let's scroll. Mary. Kindness. Okay. We need to be kind to ourselves. Very much. That is a big thing that we need to talk about. Because it is Mental Health Awareness Month. And being kind to ourselves is really important. Very, very, very important. So I found this article earlier today, and now I can't find it. And I forgot to send myself the link to it because I was on my work computer and not my personal computer from Psych Central, but now I can't find it. Anyway, I was talking all about, the benefits of being kind to yourself. And I really wish I could find it. Now I just feel like I am awesome at everything that I do. Just sometimes things don't work out the way that I want them to. Look at me. So, lovely. Ways to be kind to yourself. Positive self-talk. Just being aware, having some compassion with yourself are all, great ways to be kind. Being kind to others is also kind of, in a way, being kind to yourself. You have no kudos for the ab challenge. It was so tough. Been off all day. Oh my gosh. So huge thing. That's the thing about having so many habits and routines is that when you get off, it's hard to get back on that path. So, as I was saying, so being kind to others, I want to tell you guys a story about being kind to others. It was like the best thing. Just somebody was being kind, to others. And it had a ripple effect, since I'm talking about ripple effects. I was in the mall with my husband one day, and I don't think that I didn't have any makeup. I think I was wearing like grubby clothes, and my hair probably wasn't done or anything. But this lady, she comes up to me, and she's like, "I just want to tell you how beautiful your skin is," and I was just floored. I was like, "Oh my God, that is the nicest thing anybody has ever said to me." And I just like was just so taken aback because I normally like never go out in public without makeup on. It's just something that I think that I have to do all the time. And I was just, it was amazing. I just felt so good for the rest of the day. And now I try and make it a point all the time to compliment people whenever I'm out and about, because the way that on that particular day just made me feel, and just being kind, being nice is so very important. And I think whenever we are kind to others, the more that we do that, it's a little bit easier to be kinder to ourselves. So we also want to be kind, like, okay, we're all talking about this ab challenge. And yeah, I, in my opinion, I would say that I failed the abs challenge. But on the other hand, I can also, say I at least tried it on some days, even the exercises that I absolutely hate doing. So that's Risa Bisa. Oh my gosh. I've missed you so much. I'm so glad you're here. Hello. Oh my. Um, See, you totally distracted me, girl. Um, hmm. Oh, yeah. So I can be nice. I can have compassion with myself about the abs challenge, because I did do something that I'm not in love with, that I don't absolutely like. Um, my motivation level for that challenge was like here, and then, there's the top, and mine's like, under the ground. I didn't have any motivation to do that challenge at all, but I did do it on some days. So that's progress. That's something. So I have to have some compassion and be kind to myself, and not say, you said you were going to do that challenge and you just suck and you have no willpower and you're no motivation and you just don't want anything. That's not going to be a positive thing to do. And whenever I do that, it's going to get me, in that downward spiral of suck, versus lifting myself up and encouraging me to get up and just try it again. We're going to do better the next time she has an ab challenge. Whatever it is, self-compassion, is so important. Just being mindful, trying to keep our feelings in balance whenever we're experiencing something upsetting. This is so 100% me, because I tend to, whenever something is upsetting, I let everything go out of balance. Whenever I get into that, into my negative feelings, whenever I'm feeling scared, sad, frustrated, that's whenever a lot of times I let these habits go out the windows that are beneficial to me. So I've been working on incorporating in good habits that are going to help me to regulate those emotions better. So I've been practicing meditation. I've been practicing breath work. I have been utilizing snackercise in order to get those emotions, kind of in a more balanced position. Just trying to add in habits that are going to be, beneficial to me whenever I see these things. So definitely that, just being mindful. So be kind. Treat yourself as you would treat a friend. That's at the end of the day, that's a good question to ask yourself. Did I treat myself as I would treat a friend today? So at what instance today did I not treat myself as I would treat a friend? And how can I handle that situation differently? How am I going to know that, number one, oh, be aware that, oh, this is where that happens when this comes up. So that whenever you're kind of triggered to do the negative habit that's not helping you, instead you kind of step back, take a pause, and be like, oh, okay, I'm supposed to treat myself as a friend here. This is what I'm supposed to do here. Treat myself as a friend. Be kind to myself. I love that as a end of the day question. Did I treat myself as I would a friend? And I love the question at the end of the day. What did I do right today? What did I do that I'm proud of today? Because also, for some people, asking, what did I do right today, just leads them to think about all the things that they didn't do right. So sometimes it's better to say, what did I do that I'm proud of today? So there we go with that. Moving on. We're going to talk about the next K word. And we kind of touched on it already. But I think that this word has a huge impact whenever we are on weight loss, thinking about our weight wellness, whatever it is. Most of the times it's easier to be kind to others. Aw, thank you. This big word is kitchen. Kitchen. Your kitchen can have a ripple effect. Just your kitchen could be a keystone habit. So why do you think your kitchen is so important? Let's put it in the chat. I don't want to say everything. I know you guys have all these answers. Why is your kitchen so important when it comes to weight loss? Do, 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 do. Why is your kitchen so important? I love your new kitchen too. I'm kind of jealous. It's cool. It's nice. I like it. I like your island a lot. But that doesn't tell me anything why your kitchen's important. So, weight loss happens in the kitchen. It's not just about exercise. What we eat is just as important as exercise. So our kitchens become very, very important. Oh, look at you. Oh my God. Best comment. I just want to star that one as best comment of the night. Are you keeping kale or Kit Kats in your kitchen? All those K words that she put in that sentence. Like, that's amazing. Woohoo. Are you keeping kale or Kit Kats in your kitchen? What are you keeping in your kitchen? What is front and center? What do you see whenever you walk in your kitchen? If you keep the healthy foods front and center, you're more likely to grab those foods. If you've got prepped foods, you're more likely to eat those foods. What about the surfaces? If it's full of debris and clutter and yesterday's dishes, it's going to affect your motivation to go and make the next meal. Because if you've got all of yesterday's junk hanging out in your kitchen, you go to make a meal, you're going to be less motivated because there's an extra step that you have to do before you get to make your meal. So it's huge. And that's a habit, something to, think about. How can I add, if you're a person that has, that has these messes, go through, especially if you've got like kids, like sometimes, you've got a family or whatever, and they're always putting, stuff around. So it might be a habit that you have to do like 3, 5 times a day, 6 times a day, go through and tidy up the kitchen so that whenever it's time for you to go and do and work your magic, that the kitchen is in a nice environment for you to do that. One of the things with my kitchen that I absolutely love is that I have my Alexa. We have a little Alexa thing in there so that I can easily play music while I'm cooking. And there's nothing I love cooking and playing music and singing into the, spoon thing that you stir stuff with or whatever and acting a fool. It makes cooking more fun. It's more enjoyable to me. It's not as much of a chore if I can do something enjoyable while I'm in the kitchen. Having, a stand for your recipes if you follow a lot of recipes, so important. There's so many ways that, you can make upgrades to your kitchen in order to make it a better place for you to do the things that you need to do. So, strongly encourage, take a look at your kitchen and see. Let me know, what is the favorite thing that you have about your kitchen? I want to know everybody's favorite thing about their particular kitchen. Because I think whenever we share what our things are, what we like, what we do, it helps give other people's ideas on, oh, wow, I never really, really thought about that too much. Maybe that's something that I want to do. Yes? Mm-hmm. When I buy treat foods, I put them in my back hall so it's not right in my face. But if I want it, I can go get a serving, put it away, and enjoy it. That is totally me. 100%. That's what I do too. I hide them away, hide the things away. Oh, she always has cold water. I don't like cold water. I know I'm weird. Um, the biggest thing for me was buying extra sets of measuring spoons. Extra sets of measuring spoons. My gosh, it would just annoy me so much whenever the measuring spoons were dirty or a recipe, whatever. And I just found that, I just bought a whole bunch of them. And that way, even if a recipe calls for a whole bunch of 1 tablespoon things, I don't have to go and wash it and then come back and put the other thing in it. I know some people like to just use it for the next thing, but I have a thing about it. I don't know what it is. But that's just me. But measuring spoons, extra measuring spoons, little things. Oh, also organizing it. So we have a bin where we put like pots and pans, and it claimed too much. So whenever you went to go get one, something would fall over. This would happen. Oh, and it was like an effort to do the whole thing. So by reorganizing that, it did have an impact on cooking. Hmm. I know my treats I shouldn't eat because I will eat the whole box, bag, etc. Aw, isn't that a good one? Was that Malika that said that? Was it? So, kitchen. Kitchen is an important tool in your tool belt, making sure that you have a well stocked, well organized, clean kitchen can do so much for you. So, I want to go back to kudos for a second because I forgot to say something that I wanted to say about kudos. When you were, when was, I don't know how I want to say this. When you were a child, were you ever praised for cleaning your plate? Were you ever praised for cleaning your plate when you were a kid? Oh, good job. You got to clean your plate and you'll get dessert. Giving kudos, cleaning your plate. So one of the habits that I had for a long time, I don't really have it anymore, is I was a member of the Clean Plate Club. Whatever you put on your plate, you got to eat it all. Can't throw any of it away. I was a member of the Clean Plate Club and couldn't leave the table until you finished all your food. So all these years whenever I started learning how to listen to if I was hungry or if I was full or if I was satisfied, I never really ever thought about, the Clean Plate Club and how much this had a ripple effect on me. And so with the No BS program, I worked really hard on the whole thing. And in the beginning, it was really difficult. I had a lot of thoughts about it, and I would have to really think about it. And it was difficult. And I know that I still, even at when I go out to eat at restaurants, even once I get full, if we're in a restaurant and I am full, I'm done. I don't need any more food. But we're sitting there and we're socializing and we're whatever. We're waiting on everybody. We're waiting on the check or whatever. And the person that hasn't come and pick up my plate, I'm going to still, sit there and pick at my food or whatever it is. So definitely a member of the Clean Plate Club. So I hadn't thought about this in a little while because I really worked hard on it. And I don't do it as often anymore. It is something that occasionally will come up where I will just finish my whole entire plate if I'm not being mindful and aware of the circumstance. So it messed me up as an adult. Children in Africa are starving. But I hadn't thought about it in a while. And then the other night, it was like we're eating. I was like, oh, good job. You finished your plate. I'm like, you just gave yourself kudos for finishing your entire plate, which is fine if, that fits into whatever your thing is. But that's a habit I worked really, really hard at breaking, was always having to have this compulsion to finish my plate, to eat past the point of being satisfied. So I was like, oh, wow, that's just such an ingrained habit. It's hard to deprogram. And it's an amazing, these habits, how they become so automatic, and how whenever you work hard at breaking a habit, how sometimes it's going to come back up. And that's why I want to go back to, we need to be kind to ourselves, because stuff's going to happen. We can't let it mean anything. It just happens. Sometimes just autopilot comes in. It doesn't mean anything about us. Eat out smaller plates for sure. No, waste not, want not. So there are a lot of, and for a lot of people, there's all kinds of different reasons that clean your plate is a hard habit to stop. It just brings up like a lot of emotions. They're like, oh, they're wasting it. I can't waste it. Oh my gosh, it would be terrible if I wasted it. And it's really, really difficult for them to do. So if you're a member of the Clean Plate Club, that is something I would challenge you to kind of think about, well, what would happen if I were to leave 3 bites behind, and how would it feel if I left 3 bites behind? Would it be awkward? Would it be strange? Would I feel any certain way about it? Any of those types of things, just something to kind of, food for thought. So we've only got like a few minutes left. The last thing I want to talk about is 2 K words. Keep or kill. And I'm just using kill because it's K word. Yeah. But what's that game that people play? Marry, kiss, kill? Is that the game? I don't know. but kind of like that game. What was something that you did today that you want to keep, and what was something that you did today that you want to kill? So that's something in my Silk and Sonder journal that I have. They kind of do every week. We do like a week. It goes through a weekly review. It was something that I did in the No BS program too. Was at the end of the week we would look through and say, what behaviors do I want to keep this week? What behaviors do I want to leave behind? And not necessarily behaviors. It would also be like maybe food related things too. It could be all kinds of things. Self-talk, all kinds of things. But in the Silk and Sonder journal, they call it rosebud and thorn. So, the rose is like the thing that you want to keep. The bud is an emerging opportunity. And the thorn is something that you don't want anymore. She always said you should order less. Ha, 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 ha. Wasted or wasted by Jess. Got anxious getting rid of some stuff. Yes, definitely. Oh, it's hard to get rid of stuff sometimes. It is. I know that I had this, when I lost weight the first time, I had this brown sweater that I could not get rid of for anything. It was like my security blanket. It was my thing. It was my thing. So, keep. I didn't eat any of my boss's candy. Great job. Kudos to you. Got my meds refilled on time. That's a kudos. Yay. So again, just kind of, what do we want to keep? What do we want to stop? It's good to just do that little assessment weekly, monthly, whenever, so that, you can just kind of slowly make these little 1% changes. Because whenever we make these small little changes, James Clear talks about it in his book, Atomic Habits. He talks about it as compounding. But whenever we make these small changes, they compound over time and then they become great big changes. And then you look back and you're like, oh, wow, look at that. How did that happen? Like 1% at a time. That's how that happened. So you just start with the smallest increment, start making those changes, whatever it is. And that's all you got to do. And then you keep making changes as you go. Kill fried chicken for no way. I like fried chicken. I'm not killing it. I don't have it very often, and I never make it because I made fried chicken one time. I'm like, I'm never making this stuff again. This is too much work. Anyway, keep, kill, or you could say kick if you don't want to kill things. What things are you going to kick? Because kill's a little violent, but just kick. Kick's violent too. Whatever terminology you feel better, you use that. Anyway, come back to the video. Again, I would just want to remind you that if you go to my website and you sign up to my email list, and then you comment on my videos, I am giving away some pins. Oh, there they are. They're right here in front of my face. Giving away these pins this month at the end of the month. Every time you comment on one of my videos, if you sign up for my email list, you'll be entered into the giveaway. So I just wanted to remind you of that. And that's all I have for today. So I will see you guys. Comment on the video. What was your favorite word and why? Okay, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next video as always. Oh, wait, big announcement. Oh my gosh. We're moving the time. Next week, we are going to be at 5 o'clock. We are going to be at 5 o'clock Central for the foreseeable future. Next week, Wednesday, 5 o'clock, we're going to talk about words that start with the letter L. Okay, that's it. I'll see you in the next one. As always, it's going to be an adventure. Bye. I will see you next week. What time?